Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Entertainment Podcast, your source for all things entertainment. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Forbes Riley on the line, and she's a celebrity TV host and also a motivational speaker. Forbes, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adam, thank you very much for having me. I'm glad that you're on this mission to inspire people, especially in the crazy time that we're living in. So thank you.
Thank you for coming on and making time for us. And I'm excited to get into today's topic. So the secret to leveraging other people's platforms. A lot of people are listening right now that want that help, myself included. But before we get into that, Forbes, I do want to spend a little bit of time on your career. So tell us a little bit more about how you got in the business, please.
So, I started out as an ugly, awkward little girl, and I tell about that in my speeches because people look at me now and go, wow, you must have had it all. And I didn't. I overcame a lot. In fact, one of my mottos is you're the sum of the obstacles you overcome, including physically having a broken nose and frizzy hair and braces, and a dad who spent 3 years in the hospital. And I'm going to tell you a lot of what I created in the world that I live in is because I dreamed it. And I didn't just dream of being one thing. I dreamed of being an actress, or I dreamed of being actually James Bond because I wanted to snow ski and scuba dive and do all of those things. And consequently, I've led a very adventurous life. You've probably seen me on television because I've hosted in this journey 180 infomercials. I was actually there the day those started. And we've grossed a little over $2.5 billion. But that was just part of my job. I mean, if you look, I hosted helped create and host the original X Games for ESPN. Did that for 9 years. I've worked on Broadway. I've starred in movies. I mean, I don't know if you're a fan of Splatter University, but that was my first feature. And on Facebook, it has its own fan page. And I would have been very happy being Julie Roberts or Sandra Bullock. But somehow the universe had a different plan for me. And I ended up, believe it or not, even though I was overweight and fought my weight my whole life. How's that? So I'm off just wanting to be an actress, and I'm told to go to Overeaters Anonymous or Weight Watchers. And it led me on this path because my mom was 260 pounds my whole life. That no matter what you're going to do in life, whatever entrepreneur or business you want to be in, if you don't love the body you're living in, you don't have much of anything. And so I helped launch a network called Fit TV when cable just started, and Body by Jake, who owned that network, he sold that for $500 million. Now, you know what I got from that? Adam, I got to thank you. I didn't understand how to do business and structure contracts, so I live in two different worlds. One is the health and wellness world, and the other is how to be a success at business. But it all boils down to one thing for me, and that was the ability to pitch. How do you, whatever your idea or service is, and now what led me into home shopping. I know, how many lives has this girl had, right? I spent 20 years on QVC and HSN, and I was pitching other people's products and making a lot of money and doing very well. But somehow that just wasn't enough. And about 12 years ago, I had these two beautiful twin babies that I was born at 42 years of my age, had just lost my parents, had just gone through 9/11. And just like people going through a transition with the whole coronavirus, I'm very good at pivoting. And that's all I've ever known is things happen and you pivot and you move forward. And that's a better way to be than somebody who believed in the security of a company and devoted 30 or 40 years of their life to just one thing. And so I created this crazy little fitness product called Spinja. It's a handheld fitness product. I've never launched anything on my own. And so for the last 10 years, I've actually sold 2.5 million of those things using all the things that I know. Well, now fast forward, a couple weeks ago, I celebrated my 60th birthday. And I love when people say, Forbes, you look great for 60. I'm like, no, forget you. I look great for 45.
I'd take that. I was just going to say.
Thank you. Awesome. But that's one of the secrets to life is how do you have this energy and this verve? And I really sat down through the whole time off that we had, and I said, what can I teach, and what legacy can I leave to everyone else? And it came down to this, that I don't care what kind of expert you are, and most people don't even realize they are an expert. Even if you're someone who figured out how to balance, making really good meals and homeschooling your kids and being a good wife, you think you're just a housewife, but you could teach that or leverage it. When I was an actress, I was leveraging other people's ability to make movies. I didn't cast the movie or finance the movie or distribute the movie. I showed up and did my job. Same thing with infomercials, even home shopping. They had 85 million people waiting for me to sell me their product. Now, same thing with your podcast. You are a genius at podcasting, and if everyone doesn't know their website, you need to check you out. But we're leveraging your audience at the moment. You're hoping that I can bring them good information, and in exchange for that, I get to be more well-known to them. Well, how do people land on podcasts or on radio shows or in book compilations? And what I love to do is I love to get people to own their message, to master it verbally. I'll ask so many people, Adam, when somebody says to you, what do you do? What do you tell them?
I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, but see, you're so much more than that. I would say I'm not only a podcaster with 8 successful podcasts, but I can help make you famous by being a guest. Wow, you kind of turned it around to them, right? So my philosophy,
you're so good, Forbes. You're so good. Yeah. Tell us more. Tell us more of your ninja. It should have been ninja marketing, not ninja. You're ninja in everything. You're ninja in everything.
Here's the thing. Right, I'm going to give you one more that's going to blow your mind. I know you didn't pay me for this, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. So when people say, hey, what's your name? I say it's Forbes. Forbes Riley. Forbes as in the magazine. Now, why do I say that? Because you've never heard of Forbes. It takes your brain a second to go, what did she say? So if I were you, Mr. Adam Torres, I would say, hey, my name is Adam Torres, and Adam is in the first man. And when it comes to podcasting, I'm the first one you should think of.
Oh, that's so good. That's going to be my new intro. I love it.
I get a dime every time you say it as a royalty. But that's what I love to teach. Right. I know. It's good, isn't it?
I love it.
Imagine?
That's great.
Right. So it takes my years, Adam. I grew up, like I said, as this weird little introvert. I'm a magician. I do hypnosis. I love the brain and NLP. And I took all of these things to make my life work for me. Because the truth is, I would be very happy being quiet, introverting. But the other side of me said, Forbes, wait, you're here because you need to matter. And I have a voice. I have an ability to communicate. And I love inspiring people out of their minds. I love the smile on your face right now. You're like, wait a second, did I write that down? I do that.
Oh, no, I'm going to listen to that back. I don't. Well, one thing that I do is I listen when it makes sense. I just know, and that was great. That was like, that's decades of work in business right there.
Right. Well, that's how Jake of Body by Jake found me. He got a sense that I could pitch, and I've been writing pitches for products and people forever. And when you can nail your personal pitch, and you can tell somebody, I call it the $101,000 handshake. You and I just met, but now you know my name, I know your name, I know what you do, and now we can have a really good conversation. I find so many people waste too much time talking about politics or the weather or their sports team, and that doesn't move them forward. Because one of the truths is money does buy freedom. Money is not the root of all evil. In fact, not having money seems to be the root of all evil. And if I can help dispel those myths, another myth I'm about dispelling is there's not a lot of female role models. So, Adam, if you look at some of your mentors or your heroes in the motivational world, you might mention, Tony Robbins or Grant Cardone, Gary Vee. I don't know. Give me another one that you're thinking of. Who else is big in your world, man-wise?
Let's see. I like the classics. So, I like Tony Robbins.
Or even, but then I can even do Zig Ziglar and Dale Carnegie. Now, can you name me women? Name me a woman in that space.
No, I can't think of one. Not off the top of my head. I cannot. You're right.
So everybody, if you're listening, it's not like there was any discrimination here. It's not like, somebody got paid more. This is a real fact. There are a lot of men who dominate that motivational space and not a lot of women. And that actually shatters my heart because we have a lot to say. And, some people can say Oprah or Michelle Obama or Ellen, but it's not the same as the guys I just mentioned. And so my mission moving forward is to be that role model. I have gone through such crazy good and bad times in my life. I helped raise a young man from South Central who was murdered after I was with him for 12 years. I was eyewitness to the Las Vegas shooting. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. And what if I could compress time for anybody who's willing to listen and work with me? I also am very intuitive, and I see things in people. I often see more in them than they see for themselves. And so I created a little signature training that I love to do called Forbes Factor Live. I don't take a lot of people in this. It's not even that expensive. I just love doing it small. And if you go to Forbes Factor Live, you'll see that. Because the thing that breaks my heart moving forward is I look at so many people's faces and they want it so badly, but there's something in their past that's keeping them from moving forward. The analogy I use is that you're a speedboat and you're a speedboat and now you've taken some classes, you've got some gas, you push the throttle forward, but you're not going anywhere. Well, if you turn around, you realize that you put your anchor in some very deep mud because somebody years ago told you that you weren't good enough or who are you to make it or you're not from this country, whatever they told you. And you let that stick in the mud. And even though you've got gas and got a great boat and a good attitude, you're not going there. One of the things that I treasure doing for people is taking a giant wire cutter and cutting that anchor rope and letting you fly. And in the course of my life, in the last 15 years that I've been doing this with people, I've witnessed miracles. I just got one this morning. Girl just said she started her podcast because of me. That was a year of me giving her enough confidence, enough self-worth to then go forth and make a difference. And so if you're listening to this, and you feel stuck and you're like, well, I want more too. That is why you want to reach out to me.
Man, that is exciting, Forbes. So final question on my end. So that being said, when it comes to leveraging podcasts, you already gave us a ton of value. What is one of the things, I know there's some people listening right now, like that sounds great. And Forbes, obviously you're polished, you're professional, you're great. And they may be a little intimidated. What are some of the things that you would tell the people listening that feel like maybe they don't have a voice or something additional to offer?
Number one, everybody has a voice and everybody has a story. What you don't have is how you package it and make somebody else interested. So the first thing you have to go is, wow, my story is my story. I've taken young girls who were sex trafficked. They're now doing TED Talks because they package the story in a way that was worth hearing. I take people who are inventors who have a product. They don't know how to pitch it. They will just bore you to death telling you the technical. No, there's a way to create the sizzle and not the steak. And so the craft that I teach you, if you think that I'm polished and professional, it's because I've worked on it. And what I've done now is compressed it into literally a course, into a training and a challenge. And I think you're going to love this because I'm going to create for you specifically, Adam, great podcast guests. People who know their message, who can come on in 10 or 15 minutes, wow you, intrigue your audience, help build their own list, but really do some good in the world, no matter what their topic is. I don't care if you know how to crochet, dog walk, or bake the best cake. Trust me, there's something in you, some story. Maybe it's something your grandfather told you. Your job in this time, I think, is to flesh it out and then become so interesting that when you go to Adams and says, be a guest, he gets excited because you know your mission. You know why you're there. You got your free gift. And that's all that you need. I take everybody. I take teenagers who have a story up to, I've got a guy right now. He's in his 80s. You don't have a whole lot of time left on the planet. But he was colorblind. And actually, he was hired by the Army to kind of spot targets because if you're colorblind, you can't, camouflage doesn't work on you. And what saved his life was he was also a trumpet player, and he didn't get to go on a mission that killed everybody. That's a story. We fleshed that story out, and now he's going around telling that story. And his grandchildren get to smile, and they see. So do me a favor. Don't discount what you've gone through. And for those of us who've gone through a lot of pain in their lives, my mission here is please don't let your pain go wasted.
Fantastic. Well said, Forbes. And I love it. I love it. I love everything you're doing over there. And appreciate you making time to come on the show. I mean, it's been great having you on, and thank you for the tips you gave to the audience and to myself. And to the audience, don't forget, this is Adam. Adam is in the firstborn, the first one you should think of when you think of podcasting. Was that close, Forbes? I don't know if I got it right.
It's close enough. We'll tweak it. We'll work on it. But I got to tell you, you just made my heart smile.
I'm going back. I'm gonna repeat it. I'm gonna listen. I don't listen to my episodes the second time. I'm gonna listen to it again because that first time that you said it, I was like, oh, she just hit me in the stomach. That was so good. So no, that was on. Don't worry. I will memorize that thing verbatim. So thank you again for coming on the show, Forbes, and to the audience. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of.
Well, hang on, wait. Last thing. Wait, last one thing. I'm going to give you guys a free gift. You just simply go to free gifts from Forbes Riley, and some of those techniques are in there. I just give away videos. I love giving away stuff. Go to free gifts from Forbes Riley. Enjoy that, and then you can turn it into some money. Adam, I'll tell you what. When somebody smiles at you and says, "Wow, that's the coolest introduction," you're going to go, "Oh, and that was kind of easy. And did we do it in like 5 minutes?" Hello.
And how do people follow you too, Forbes? So I know you have other like channels and other things like that. I mean, how do they follow you?
Oh, just social media. How many people are named Forbes Riley? It's that simple. You go on Instagram or Facebook and type in my name and it will come up. And I will tell you, I actually look at my private messages. I really screen almost everything. There's a lot of them, but if people really want to get a hold of me, I know a lot of celebrities don't like to do that. I'm all about serving. And you'd be surprised. Every once in a while, I'll give a scholarship to a class because somebody will tell me a great story, or I'll have somebody as a guest on my show who didn't think they could get a leg up. So do me a favor. Don't be shy, and don't play a game too small. I did that for way too many years. My motto now, please just dream bigger.
Give us that website one more time, please.
Free gift from Forbes Riley.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you again for coming on the show, Forbes. It's been awesome.
I'll talk to you soon, Adam. Thank you and bless you. Bye-bye.